And welcome to our second video about the 84 days of the artist way, as by the book of Julia Cameron. This is end of week 1, beginning of week 2 for me. As I said, I wouldn't have done like a constant videos, but some stuff happened during this week, so I thought about sharing some of the stuff with you. One of the first things was that I tried to do and to create an affirmation that I could use on a daily basis that would actually help me to ground myself and to project myself into the sort of like creative world. And the affirmation that I used was actually that I was ready to let go of anything that is stopping me from becoming a successful artist and a successful writer. Weird enough, and I'll just repeat the affirmation again. I was ready, and I felt ready to let go of anything that would stop me, or that is stopping me from becoming a successful artist. So I don't actually know, or I might not even need to know what exactly is that is stopping me from becoming a successful and creative person. So I was ready to let go of everything. If you do remember, I've recorded and published my very first video on Sunday. The problem was that actually on Monday evening I spent part of my afternoon and evening in A&E because my back seized, and I've sprained a muscle, the quadricep in my leg. Of course, as much as I was psychologically ready to let go of everything that is stopping me, actually something else came along and stopped me, which also means that I didn't write as much as I wanted to. I'm still in pain. My favorite fountain pen has just finished. It was the second one that I bought, and it cost me, because I like the V pen, so it's not refillable. So it means that I'm like spending £3 every 10 days for a pen, and that wasn't helping. I couldn't find a new journal. The paper was wrong, and then if not the paper, was the pen that was wrong, or the size, or the thickness of the lines. Basically, I had so many issues that I was putting up in order not to do the work. Still, I did as much as I could. I've watched some more videos. I keep on reading the book, the Murakami book. I bought myself yesterday a Collins sort of like big thick book about the art of writing. So it gives you synonyms, there's a bit of thesaurus, a bit of grammar, and sort of like some hints and some help about spelling and how to write and how to approach the art of writing, and especially of editing when actually you're reading it back. For that kind of things, I find it extremely useful. Then work related, I had because of course I didn't know what to work because of my pain on Tuesday, and on Wednesday I had to swap my shift. Something else happened in between that somehow threw me off. Fortunately, I was supposed to go on my artist date, and I had some ideas which had to be mediated because of the pain in my legs, because I've got difficulties in driving, of course, and I'm trying to move my leg gently and not rush into doing the things that I really wanted to do. Even now I'm sitting, but I'm actually like constantly changing my position because I don't seem to be able to find a position that is comfortable for my leg. But a friend of mine came to my rescue, and he offered to take me to Liverpool, and he would drive. So I know that the artist day is something that should be done alone. and not with somebody, but I thought that that was a good compromise, because that meant really going to the Tate gallery, Paper Chase, which is a shop that I love. So there was a lot of Waterstones, and the big Waterstones, so looking for books and looking for inspirations and stuff. So I thought that it was a very good compromise, so I went and I found myself sitting and standing, and My Bed by Tracey Emin was there, and there was a lot of conflict, a lot of stuff to talk about and think about of what this is. Is that art? Why would we consider that art? The fact that I felt like getting in and hoovering and cleaning the installation, if I consider myself an artist and that is done in a museum, would my act of interacting with a piece of art still be art in itself? Would my act be considered as art? Where does my sense of art ends and Tracey Emin's sense of art begins? So there was a lot of sort of like what I call the collective of art and cheese, and there was a lot of the words. There was a lot of stuff that we could have done at the Tate, and it was a very good day because it gave me a sense of creative freedom. I've been creating like words and sentences with words that were given on some index cards, and I'll just stick them on the wall at the gallery, and then of course there was a shop, and then of course there was a coffee. And another thing that I did later on during the day when we stopped at Waterstones, which is, for I mean, the people who don't know, it's like a big two-story big shop, like just proper bookshop. And there is an incredible coffee place in there. So we stopped. It was already about 4:15, and to have a coffee inside Waterstone. And I took the courage and I read to this friend who was with me a draft of my second short story and my very first finished, edited, ready to be published short story. So it was nice, the idea that, I mean, then he turned to me and said, this friend, you know, one day, I mean, actually we might be here while you are signing your book in front of people. And I thought, whoa, that's like a good thought and a good idea. And then he made some comments about my writing, and some of them I'll take them at face value. Some other I just felt that it was something that was bothering me. So I've got to, of course, write and work about why was that bothering me. Because I mean, I value what this person is saying, but where is the valuing, and where is the validity of my writing, or the validity of me as a writer, or the validity of me as a creative person, or the validity of me just as a person? So of course, coming from a therapeutic and a psychotherapeutic relationship and approach, yeah, there are things that I've got, of course, to think about, and just to probably just maybe work and write more. What else? Oh yes, I was watching yesterday another one of Colin Drucker's videos where he's thinking about the abundance of stuff that he has. And I was actually thinking, I do have myself abundance of time. I do have abundance of space, because I work only in the mornings. Mainly mornings. I mean, I do have some stuff to do in the afternoons, but I mean, mainly my afternoons are free. I do have an abundance of space because I live by myself in my house, which means that if I decide to turn a room into a studio, or I could actually easily create and leave stuff around that nobody else actually could, to say anything. I've got abundance of freedom because I'm not in a relationship. I don't have constraints from anybody about if I want to go, if I want to stay. I mean, I do have responsibility and consequences that I'm taking into consideration, but as for that, I can go and do as I please. I do have abundance of support from the people who support me. From the people who don't support me, I haven't got it. So, but I'm okay from that point of view. I mean, the people whose comments I value, they are supportive of me. I do an abundance of words because I am multilingual, so I've got an abundance of nuances and shades and words and stories, and I've got an abundance of imagination. So still though, I've been wondering what is this process all about. I've been wondering, is it worth it? Because I mean, or is it just that it's not worth it, or it is that I'm thinking that it's not worth it, but in the end I'm just lazy because I just actually don't sit and write. I don't. I could, but I don't. And it's not even that I don't know what to do. I perfectly know what to do. I perfectly know that what I want. My whole concept, because I was doing this approach about my consciousness, my subconsciousness, my unconscious, and the collective unconscious of somehow of expectations. So I was actually thinking, my conscious logically wants me and would like me to be a successful writer. At the same time, my subconscious and my unconscious are like paddling in the opposite direction. So so I was trying to understand yesterday, why is that? And they say that laziness is just is not the reason, it is just symptoms of something else that goes underneath. So if I have to explain how I'm feeling, most of the time I would say that I feel tired, and at times I might feel overwhelmed because of the kind of work that I'm doing. Tired, yes, physically. It's winter, we are supposed to take it somewhat, chill out and take it gently and easily. Still I feel that there isn't enough time for me. I'm already 50, so I should actually sit there and write with this, because should just lingering behind me. Don't I sit, I mean, one of the reasons that I could be because I don't sit and write, maybe because I have got fear of failure. I used to have fear of failure, not anymore. Fear of success, used to have fear of success. I don't feel fear of success anymore. A desire for nurture, I could say yes, there is a part of me that desire to nurture. As much as I like the fact that I'm free and that I don't have strings attached with anybody, I wouldn't mind, in order to free myself from certain responsibility, to say, you know, I'd like to have somebody in the house to come and nurtures me, and that gets, I don't know, dinner ready and does the washing or does the shopping, so I can actually devote myself to the act of writing. But then I'm thinking, yeah, but there's a lot of people out there, you know, and I'm not just talking about big names, but if we need to drop one down, like J.K. Rowling, I mean, she had kids, she had no money, she had everything, she had constraints, she had responsibilities, she had to think about consequences. Still, anyway, she found the time to write Harry Potter. So a lot of people have got way more difficulties than me, and they maybe wanted more, so maybe I'm just laid back, maybe I don't care a lot. Need for relaxation. The act of writing actually somehow channels my tension, and what I'm left is more relaxed. So the more I write, the more I feel I'm ready for a good night's sleep, kind of things. Fear of conflict, so I don't want to, there are no conflicts whatsoever, so that doesn't resonate with me, because I've known and I've learned to listen to myself on a very deeper level. So I can tell you that fear of failure, fear of success, need for this, need for that, fear of conflict, they just do not resonate with me. And the only thing that I'm left is with my mom's voice tell me that, well, she's lazy. She's always been lazy. She just doesn't like to do anything. So, sorry. So, is it only that, or is it something else? Because on one sense there is a sense of joy and motivation, and the other side is laziness. And as much as I feel joyful by the idea of being a writer, joyful and motivated by writing, motivated by what I can achieve after the writing, which to me is the whole point of doing something, which is, I like the idea of going around, eating in nice trattorias, being in little bookshops and traveling around England and or Great Britain and presenting my book, and this is the whole thing that comes and happens afterwards. I'm left with a dichotomy if I like the idea of being an artist or I like making art, which is, I actually like writing. On the other side, when there is laziness, there is of course maybe a sense of irresponsibility, sense of just letting go, sense of well, I didn't have time, took it to an excess, an extreme, well, I don't have time, will I have regrets? Probably yes, but who cares, kind of thing. And I'm wondering where this who cares, where is that coming from? When I'm faced though with the word confusion, that yesterday, last night while I was writing, well, the word confusion resonates within me. I'm trying to understand, what is it that I'm confused? Am I confused about the whole thing? Or there is something that the root of my laziness is a confusion into something, not that I'm confused about the whole concept of laziness. Something like this, something that somehow lays deeper than that. As for learning the poem by heart, being a naughty girl, I just can't face Francesco Petrarca. I just can't face Francesco Petrarca. So, as I said, this has been a really weird and strange week for all sorts of things. I'm in the pain. I still have got this incredible pain. I'm on medication, even though I'm trying not to. Loads of other stuff going on. I had a couple of my clients. I've lost a couple of my clients along the way because of some of their stuff, and even though from an ethical perspective I know that the right way that I behave, the way that I behaved is the right way, still I've been touched by that. So take this to group supervision, to supervision, went out with a colleague for a nice meal out, so to discuss all these things about. So yeah, I'm still left with maybe an idea of validity, validation. Valid, is my work valid? Is my need for valid? I don't need validation. Sometimes I think that I got to myself in a place in which I don't need for validation. I've got balance between my inner child and sense of responsibilities and consequences. I love my work. I've got free time. Why should I get into doing something else? Is it really worth it? Do I really need it? So yeah, I still want to do it, and I still want to go on, and I still want to write, and I still want to do my pages, and I still want to see, because there is a sense of curiosity. I want to see where this process is taking me, because when I did this artistry and creativity discovery journey about March of 2 years ago, there was a lot that I found out about myself. So I'm really interested to see where this journey is taking me. And as I said, the only thing that I can promise you is honesty and to give it the best shot that I can.